Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to you, and thank you once again for joining us on another edition of a Parallel Facts Space Special. And as you know, today we have a guest in the house, Senator Ireti Kingibe. But before we even get to the senator, we will all introduce ourselves, those of us here on the panel, so that you know exactly who, who you will be speaking with today or hearing from today. In the meantime, don't forget the hashtag, or let me introduce the hashtag, hashtag Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts. Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts. Please, let's see that hashtag. Any question you have, any contribution you have, use the hashtag. I just have one request. Please, let's keep the space as respectful as possible in your comments. When we bring you up to speak, just keep it as respectful as possible. And we also ask that you help us retweet this space. All you have to do, you see the arrow on the space, the arrow at the top of the space, click on it, and you will see the option share via post. Share via post. That way it retweets to your timeline. All right, so we will just go around and introduce ourselves very quickly. Well, it's Dr. Mo and I for now, and I will start with the introduction. My name is Gloria Ayo. I'm a former Nigerian radio and TV personality. Now I'm a digital content creator. I am the head of broadcast at Parallel Facts, and I also love telling African stories. Dr. Mo, are you ready, sir? Dr. Mo, I think you're muted. Can you hear me? We're waiting for your special introduction. There you go. Go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We can all hear you, I believe.
Oh, glorious. So good to be here and so good to have you here. Yes, my name is Dr. Mo. I'm an environmentalist. I'm a politician. I'm an activist. And I'm a youth leader.
One.
Gloria here.
Awesome. It's good to have you with us. And Dr. Mo is going to be doing us the special honor of introducing the senator. Dr. Mo, are you able to help us introduce the senator, please?
Yeah, we're here with the sole senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria representing the FCT. She is the only senator in the federal capital. And she's here. She's a mother. Um, she's an engineer, a lover of people, a grassroots worker, somebody who has been home and abroad. I can go through her CVs, but I think for the purpose of this engagement, it's important to just keep it at that. She is the sole senator of the FCT, and she's here with us today, Senator Ireti Kingibe.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Mo. Senator Kingibe, over to you, ma. I think you're on mute, Senator. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Senator? Okay, while we wait for this senator's mic to be unmuted, I do also want to apologize for the late start. We just had a bit of a technical setback, but here we are. We're here for you, and we're ready to make this happen. Can you hear us, Senator?
Yes, I can hear you, Gloria.
Awesome.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Gloria and Dr. Mo. And I'm happy to be here. I'm sure we'll have an interesting evening.
Yes, we will. And I know Dr. Mo has introduced you so beautifully. Could you please also introduce yourself to those who may, oddly not be familiar with you?
Okay, my name is Ireti Kingibe. I'm the senator representing the Federal Capital Territory. I'm a first-time senator, but I've been in the FCT political space for about 20 years. And I've also obviously been involved in politics at different levels, mostly in the background before. But I was president of my Nigerian Students Union when I was in university. So I've always been interested in how things are done, especially in governance. So that's my introduction. Oh, by the way, I'm an engineer, a civil engineer, and a mother of 3 children. 70 years old. What else to say about me? I believe that Nigeria can be better once we all resolve to make it better.
Thank you so much, Senator. And I'm going to go straight to a couple of questions. I'm going to start with the hard stuff, if you don't mind. And
No, I don't
awesome,
mind.
because the people are here to speak with you, so we want it to be centered around the people's questions. And that's why we ask, please use the hashtag Senator, well, no, use the hashtag Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts. That hashtag again, Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts, so we can get your questions and contributions. But I'm going to start off with this question, Senator. So we all know about the elephant in the room, the big viral interview recently, where the FCT minister made a reference to the 2027 election, stating, and I quote, "We will fail you. You think that what happened last time will happen again? Luckily for me, I am the FCT minister now, so here is my territory." Senator, you have reiterated that constitutionally, the FCT minister is bound by, by judicial notice of the occupant of the senator's seat for the FCT. Now, during your time with the Social Democratic Party, for instance, you witnessed firsthand a significant threat to democracy through the suppression and even cancellation of votes during the 1993 presidential election. Fortunately, or should I
Mhm.
say unfortunately, you're no stranger to this. So, but some interpret the FCT minister's comment as a threat to your party, the Labour Party, and to democracy itself. Consequently, supporters of the Labour Party are now even asking the question, especially since the 2023 election, is the Labour Party prepared for potential electoral malpractices in 2027, which the current government has been accused of consistently utilizing?
Well, personally, I saw his threat about 2027 for me was the least important of everything he said because 2027 is a long way away. It actually belongs to God. And how does he know that I'll be here, he'll be here, I'll be running, I'll not be running? He doesn't know any of those things. So, but what was more important to me was the threat and abuse to me personally, telling me to go and die on a transformer or hang on it or whatever it was he said. But most of the time, I actually do not respond to the FCT minister directly because I'm only here to represent the people. And I will always say what is important to the people, regardless of anybody's reaction to it. And as for my practices in 2027, well, are we ever prepared as a people? Each election, we all get up and say, oh, this time we're ready. We've got all our bases covered. And then a new angle is presented. But I would like to think that 2027, the people of Nigeria will elect the president that they want. That's what I'm going to say. Whether with the last time I would have said, oh, we were well prepared. Things were going to be it was going to be a free and fair election, but it wasn't quite like that. But most of the time in the Federal Capital Territory, it usually well, we've never had people who were so blatant about rigging, so I don't know. But the Federal Capital Territory is difficult to rig because 75% of the electorate are educated, they protect their votes, they really stand up. And we, all of us in FCT, know that yes, you can try, but it's really not as easy as other places. And the other thing I would like to add
Yes, Senator.
is that part of the job of the in fact, all senators is oversight. And in FCT, especially since there's only one senator, my job also includes oversight functions on the minister, ensuring that the people's needs, their rights are not trampled on. It's not just me, it's always been that way. I remember many years ago, in fact, maybe 20 or more, a particular minister complaining about how the senator has been making his life hell because he put a 3K levy on school fees or schools because there shouldn't have been any fees. And he said the harassment was so much, he didn't, the money's not worth it. He's taking it off. So if the point is that the senators are meant, and not just the senators, plus the two House of Rep members, were meant to stand up for the people, especially when we see that their rights are not protected, or it's being trampled on, or their needs are not looked into.
Thank you so much, Senator. I appreciate that response. I do want to also add that Dr. Moore is also co hosting the space. So just everybody keep that in mind. Senator, I'll ask one more question before I bring speakers to ask you questions directly, and we will also take some questions from the comment section. The hashtag is Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts. And guys, please don't forget to retweet the space. Again, the arrow is right at the top of the space. Click on it, share via post, share this on your timeline, send it by DM to somebody. We appreciate you so much. Okay, Dr. King, I mean, Senator Kingibe. I was going to call you Dr. Kingibe, like Dr. Mo. Okay, so some of your supporters have commended you for speaking up, as you're doing now, about the marginalization in your constituency. Now, you know, Senator, here at Parallel Facts, we strive to hold all government officials accountable, regardless of party affiliation. But back to the FCT minister, in his response to you, he implied that you have not done enough for your constituents. Additionally, some of your constituents have claimed that you're not as accessible as they would like, even on social media. And beyond that, shortly after you were elected, you mentioned that you have a development office where you plan to allocate some of the excesses from your salary for your constituency. How is that initiative progressing, Senator?
Well, I can tell you for certain that before I became a senator, I was a professional, and my not just my salary, and I'm open about it. My salary, as well as all my allowances, come to like 1.4 million, all of which goes to my constituents. Secondly, I became a senator in order to give back. I have children whom I want to stay in Nigeria, love Nigeria, and be patriotic about Nigeria. Saying I'm not doing anything, that's why I posted it. I also come from a school of thought where before I became a senator, every time a government official does something and he's being commended and clapped for, I always felt like, what's this about? The people elected you to do those things. So I'm sorry. Of course, I was, what's the word? Persuaded. I would have put down, I have a list of all the things I do. They're all documented. I have both pictorial and as well as, how would you put it? As well as written of everything. I have the names, phone numbers, account numbers of all the people I empower, but I keep them for documentation processes. The people whose lives I've touched, the places where I have put solar lights, they know I've done that. I have videos from the people who I paid for and all of that. But truly, maybe my vision of what the kind of leader I would like to see Nigeria have is not one who's constantly clapping for herself and things like that. But it seems the people need some of that. Now, as for being visible, I have to tell you, the FCT has one senator. I have discovered that everything that comes to the people, believe it or not, has to be lobbied for. There's nothing that is automatically theirs. So as a senator, I get up every day at 6 a.m. and I go to bed, the days I go to bed early, at midnight. I do my legislative duties. I have committee meetings. I have oversight functions. I also have to take empowerment to the people, lobby for things. So there isn't really time to spend hours on social media. There isn't time to go chit chatting. I locate times to go to my constituents, but except for that, the people have to decide, do they want the senator that's working or one that just hangs out with them? And I opted to be the senator that puts things on the ground for them to say, okay, you want a transformer, is done. You want this, is done. I had 42 requests. If you come, everything I'm saying, you can come to my senatorial office and verify. And I was able to get 32 put in to the budget. So these things cannot, and I feel that the people, and the people of the FCT, before they used to flood me, call me, come to my office, and I told them, I said, the people who write me get results. I cannot answer the phone calls of 4 million people. I on my WhatsApp now, on a daily basis, I get 2,000 WhatsApp messages. You and I know that it's not practical that I would be able to read and respond to all of them, but I read and respond to all the letters that I get.
Thank you,
Hello?
Senator. I am here. I got you. Thank you so much for that response. And I'm happy you gave that response because at Chooks, Egugu actually had a question along those lines where he asked, why have you refused to engage physically with the people of FCT? You avoid every opportunity to connect with the people. You don't attend events organized by the indigenous people of FCT or any other local group. Can you speak to those events he's talking about?
Yes, I can speak to it. On every given day, because I'm the only senator in the FCT, every event that's organized in the FCT, the senator of the Federal Capital Territory is invited to the event. So obviously, I have to prioritize the events. I go to major policy events and things like that. I've just responded to being distanced from the people. There was so many people will call me. There was a young man to call me every day, every day, every day. Then one day he called me. Sometimes I take his call, sometimes I can't. Then one day he called me. He said, distinguished, I found out all my colleagues got empowerment I didn't get. I said, because you are engaging only directly with the senator. The senator speaks to, on average, some days my office has 50 people that I personally see. Of course, I cannot remember everything unless it's documented. And I told him, I said, your colleagues got the empowerment because they went through the process I put in place. So if you would rather just talk to me, then we can talk from time to time. He said, no, madam, I prefer the empowerment. I said, okay, here's the process. And since that day, he's never called me directly again. The truth of the matter is, let's be realistic. There are 4 million people in the FCT. Every event I can show you on a daily, I get invited to every single event every community is doing. I can go to some. For instance, on a day, there was one Saturday, I went to 3, 4 events. One of the things I prioritized was going to the school, the invitation.
Okay, I think I'm not sure what happened there, but I mean, I've. Uh, can you hear me, Senator? Can anybody hear me?
I
Dr. Bo, can
think
you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you. I think is the network. Her network is cut off.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I hope she'll be able to get up and get it and come back. What
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
yes, we
we
can hear
can.
you loud
Thank you,
and clear.
Senator. Thank you, Dr. Mo.
Okay. So, so where at what point did you stop hearing me?
You told the boy to follow the process, and he never called you again.
Yes, because he followed the process and he got what he was calling me about. You see, people are used to the kind of governance where most Nigerians feel that unless they lobby the senator directly, they will not get what they are looking for. I want them to know that I don't need to know you. Anything you need, my office will be glad to give it to you. Empowerment, I try to give it as fairly to all of FCT as I can. And as he's saying, events, I prioritize. The School of the Deaf has invited me to come to something. Some community people are having a party. I will choose to go to the School of the Deaf and not to that event. I have always been pro. In fact, a lot of the chiefs of FCC call me de facto indigene. I am as detribalized as you are going to find in Nigeria. That's my
Thank you,
response.
Senator. We have Barrister Juliet with us. Hello, Barrister. Glad you were able to join us. Can
Thank
you?
you very much.
You're very welcome. Can you please introduce yourself and go ahead with your question, Barrister?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I'm just joining.
Good
Yes,
afternoon.
ma'am. Good afternoon, Senator, and everyone listening. Um, I will just take some time to look at what questions have been asked because I just joined and I want to timeline. My name is Isi Kairi. I'm a lawyer, and in 2023, I was a candidate for the House of Reps under the ADC party. Good to be here. Like I said, a few minutes, and I will come in with my question. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Barrister. All right, let's take our first speaker then. Professor Mohammed Yaya, are you ready? Please go ahead if you are.
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Mo, my capacitated senator, and everybody on this place.
Good
I'm
evening.
delighted to speak to you today. I'm very happy. Right from day one of this movement of obedience, I've been part and parcel of it and have been supporting this movement 101%. I'm a co-noder now. I have two questions real quick for my capacitated senator. My question number one is, based on the assessment you've made now, being a city senator, from the time you started now till now, where do you see the future of FCT, you being the senator, and then APC being the ruling party in the nation? Do you see, do you think there is going to be any significant progress in FCT, or there is going to, do you used to have some kind of challenges with APC in your own leadership at FCT? That is one. Then number two,
Professor, I'm sorry to cut you off. We can only take one question just so we take as many questions as possible.
it's all
And
right, it's all right. Let me restrict my
please,
question.
okay, sir,
Let me,
thank you.
yeah. And I've been following my senator since she's not following me. Thank you.
Okay, I will start following you. I wanted to say FCT, I have watched FCT deteriorate over the years. FCT badly needs a mayor. Somebody who's in charge of the FCT, elected by the people, accountable to the people. Most of the time, it's not about parties, not about APC, it's not about PDP. Is that FCT has slowly grown into a place where it's seen as patronage. So most of the time, okay, because of the National Assembly members and the National Assembly being the state assembly of the FCT, yes, most ministers are forced to do a little bit for the people. But FCT, considering that we are supposed to be the giant of Africa, this is our national capital. FCT is not doing as well as it should. And I don't see much changing in the next 3 years. It's a trend. So it is very important that we get that mayor. How is a different matter, but we need that mayor.
Thank you, Senator. And again, guys, please, one question so that we get as many questions as possible. Whenever we bring you up to speak, if you are ready to speak, just raise your hand with that raised hand emoji. And please keep the questions to 2 minutes. We will really appreciate that. All right, Israel, you have the mic. Go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. My greetings to the distinguished senator. My name is.
My
All
greetings
right,
back.
thank you, ma'am. I'm a journalist
Mhm,
with a Nigerian Tribune, and I'm going to ask a straightforward question. Uh,
mhm,
in bid to the 2023 general elections, the obedient movement, was built on the ideology for transparency and also for good governance. And there have been a lot of cry
mhm.
that, the Labour Party lawmakers have not really uh, meet up to the expectations of the obedient as regards, some of their uh, representation in the house. And, because of the numbers, of course, there are numbers of times that the majority in the house would always have the yes, why the opposition might not be given the opportunity to speak, in some critical matters. So I want to ask, how have you been able to, be the different, especially when it comes to, speaking the minds of the people, at the floor of the house, especially on national issues of importance? Thank you.
Um, well, I must say I have a little bit of an advantage that my other Labour Party brothers do not have. I am female, and there are only four of us. So there are times, yes, when maybe I put up my hand for a long time and not allowed to speak, but because I'm female and only men have spoken, I have gotten to speak a little bit more. But I also take advantage of the fact that what I cannot say on the floor of the Senate, I can say to the people directly. And that's why I do programs like Channels and Arise and all those sort of things, because even the Senate will hear my view, even if I did not air it on the floor. So that's the way I've handled it. I'm also thinking about doing 1 minute videos anytime a particular issue comes up and I don't get to air my views on the Senate floor, then I can do a 1 minute video and throw it out to the people, the obedience, and the rest of all lovers of Nigeria that this is what came to the house. This is my opinion. What is your opinion? So you also have to understand that we are evolving. We're all trying to find our way. Almost all the obedient senators, I think, are first time senators. In fact, no, maybe one is not, or yes, about, or possibly two, but most of us are. So we're learning the ropes and we will be improving as we go along. This is only the first year. We have 3 more years to show our mettle.
Thank you, Senator. Barrister Juliet, you have the mic.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ma'am, my question borders around the committee in which you chair, which is on women affairs. So my question is, what are the bills relating to women that you plan to either reintroduce or try to amend that you're willing to take to the floor of the House? And if there is any ongoing, I would like us to know so that we can be able to propagate these things. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Juliet. I'll tell you. Right now, I'm working on the gender bill. Before I started on it, I lobbied some of the men to see if I could get as many of my fellow male senators to co-sponsor the bill with me. I must say I got quite a lot agreeing that in principle they will. Now that the bill is sort of ready, I've sent it to all of them that read it, tell me your opinion, what parts of it don't you like, so that because we're in the process of constitutional amendments and I want to actually present that bill for first reading within the next week or two. That's the bill that's pending. I'm also got another one that's pending for maternal and child care health. Now, I feel personally that pregnant women and children under a certain age should be able to access medical care free. And I'm trying to see how I can put that as a law, not necessarily all over the country. I must say, I am focused more on FCT. And apart from the gender bill, which is for all women, a lot of my bills and motions are more FCT focused because I they are the people I represent primarily. So those are the main things I have right now that are pending. And maybe by next week, after my fellow senators have gone through the bill, I will now start putting it to civil society organizations and other people to see how we can get that bill passed. So I'm reintroducing that bill. The only difference is that I'm focused more on the 35% gender inclusion in governance and policy making. I've removed things to do with inheritance and all of that. I want to focus on just that. And then, if need be, we can add other things as amendments to the act if the bill is passed.
Thank you, Senator. And I would like to,
Does that answer your question,
Oh,
Juliet?
yes, ma'am. And I replied with an emoji. Thank you.
Oh, I hope the thing is not dead again.
we can hear you, Senator. And she just replied that that
Okay,
answered her
it's on.
question. Can you hear us? Can you
Hello?
hear us, Senator?
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, I
Senator,
can
I think
hear
you
you.
can.
I can hear
Okay,
you.
great. Barrister Juliet replied that she that did that the response did answer her question. Thank you so much. Okay,
Okay,
you're
thank
very
you.
welcome.
Gloria, I
Yes.
wanted to say to the people that for those who are following the senator, even if you're not, just check. I think she just made a post of some of her achievements, including the bills and motions she's pushed in the House. That will also help because I realized that some people don't read, and even if they read, they can ask questions, and some just don't. And if we really would follow, I can see that quite a number of things have been done. Just follow through and read and see so that it will also help us if some of the things you want to raise today are already covered. I don't think there'll be need for it. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Mo. And I would like to say, please, if you're on the speaker panel, oh, go ahead, Senator.
No, I was just coughing.
Oh, you're
Sorry.
good. You're fine. I was just going to say that if you're on the speaker panel and your hand is not up, we may have to remove you so we can accommodate other people. Putting up the hand emoji indicates that you will be prepared to speak when we call you. But before I come to the speakers, I will take this tweet, hashtag Ireti Kingibe on parallel facts. And Bwankwot Neyman wrote, our electoral process needs reforms. Can we have you coordinate the opposition senators to move a motion where every 18-year-old could get registered with INEC? Voter registration should also be made electronically to accommodate such. What are your thoughts, Senator?
I do agree with you completely. I also think actually, if we evolved to even electronic voting, there'll be a lot less possibility for malfunctions because of biometrics. So, yes, the electoral process does need reforming, and I will work on it. But I also have to say that the gender part is a priority for me. So maybe it will be one of the things I will get onto next year, possibly.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
I believe it does. Thank you. That was
Okay,
great.
thank you.
Yes, let us know if that answers your question. Thank you. Please, guys, don't forget to retweet the space, retweet on your timeline, send you a DM. The hashtag is Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts. The hashtag again is Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts. If you're having trouble retweeting the space, as I explained earlier, just click on the arrow at the top of the space and you'll see the option to share via post, and that way you can share on your timeline. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to take another speaker now. Ndekon, you have the mic.
The other one.
All right. Thank you very much. Good evening, distinguished senator.
Good evening.
I'm Dr. Oyofi. I want to ask just one specific question. We've discovered the Senate chamber is being run as like a secret court. So I want to know how much does a senator earn every month,
I cannot
including
hear
the
you.
allowance
I did, I did not hear
every
you.
Yeah, we
month?
lost you a
Thank you
little
very much.
bit.
You
You
said,
said you said how
How
much
much
does
uh-huh,
the senator?
does,
uh-huh.
does a senator
I can't hear you. You've gone.
Yeah, the phone is breaking. You said how much does a senator earn? That's all we got. Could you please complete that so the senator can respond? Okay, and Decon is on mute now. How much does a senator earn? Okay, we may have to go on to another speaker and then we'll take. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And Decon, let's come back to you. Sounds like there's a bit of technical difficulty there. Wanyi Aguleri, you have the mic.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, ma'am. My name is
Good evening.
Wanya Aguleri. I'm based here in Abuja, and I and my husband happily voted for you 2023, right here in Piakasa, Abuja. And ma'am, mine is not a question, but a suggestion. I saw that I'm among those that always ask, what has she done for us in Abuja? And someone, told me to go and check your tweets. And this is my humble suggestion for those of us who are not always on TV, but mostly on radio. If you agree with me that the masses in Abuja mostly love listening to radio, Nigerian Info, Brekete Family, and all that. I would suggest, ma'am, that these things you've done are good things. And I didn't know up until I saw it now. And that's because I'm privileged to be on Twitter. I have too many people that are not privileged to be on Twitter. Ma'am, it would be a very good thing if you can do this. Let us know on radio, because that's what we do more. I watch more, I listen to more of radio than even Arise and channels. And the masses, like my people here in Piakasa, where I stay, mostly are listening to radio than television. And it would be nice if we get to hear you on radio, like Nigerian Info, Brekete Family, and I think another one that is mostly the masses oriented. If you can go there and tell us these things you do, it will help us to know that, oh, this lady we voted is working for us. These are the things she has done. These are the things she has done. And I'll tell you why I said that, ma'am. There was a time on radio when they were talking about the issue you have with the minister, and people were calling and said, oh, what has she done? What has she done? What has she done for us? And it will be nice if you do that, ma. So that is my humble suggestion, that if you take out your time, go to all these radio stations, especially in the morning, when we are driving to work, even the taxis, our radios are on. Like me and my husband, we listen to radio every morning on our way out. So if you could do that, ma, it will help us, we the people that voted for you and will still vote in 2027. Because anybody who knows Abuja knows that nobody tells us in Abuja who to vote. We vote our conscience. Nobody. I've been here for 30 years of my life, and we vote for who we want to vote for. So, ma, please, if you can do this for us, let the masses know what you have done for us in FCT. So, sorry, when I say us, I'm FCT too. So I like saying that. So that's my humble suggestion, ma. Thank you very much for what you're doing. And I hope you can come to Piakasa one of these days and come and see us too in Piakasa, because we stood mightily for you. I can hit my chest on that, ma. Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you. I will get on it. And in terms of coming to Piakasa, I will. The first year was a learning process for new senators. So now that it's like the first year you go to school, everything is difficult that first year. And after that, you're now easy, your way around things. So now is the time that I will come to Piakasa. I have a lot of places that I want to go to, just like I went to Karo Market to say, okay, this happened, what's going on? And also, I am accessible, because when the fire was burning, I was the only person that could be reached to send the fire truck. So at the end of the day, you will see more of me since you wish it so.
Thank,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Senator. And Ndekon, I wonder if you're able to speak now, so you can ask that question again before we go on to the next speaker.
All right, all right. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, you were asking about the salary.
Okay. Because there have been a lot of controversy about salary, based on the fact that she's for the people, I think it's better we get to know how much does the senator earns every month and the allowances. That's my question. Thank you very much.
Um, a senator's salary, I would say approximately, because I just glanced at it, is like 674 or 694,000 naira a month, and then the allowances bring it to 1.4. Okay, that is the truth, and I can make my payslip public. But we get additional it's not called an allowance. The Senate runs, so the Senate gives money for running costs, which we have to retire. You pay a consultant, you pay your aides, you whatever that makes the office of the senator run. That is separate. It's not our money. We have to account for it every month, and that varies. But salary that is mine to do with as I wish is 1.4 million. And I must say, just like you, I heard all those stories of, oh, plenty money. So when I got there, I said, please, where is the plenty money? What is this pay slip? What is this? And they said, your salary and allowances, ma. I said, okay, thank you. And if I have the opportunity, I will get a copy of my payslip and show it to you.
Thank you, Senator. Does that answer your question? Because I know that salary question was a very important one. But thank you for asking that and staying on until we could have you re-ask. Bankole PH, you have the mic.
Hello. Yeah, thank you, Senator Ireti, for representing hope in the political system for us. We truly appreciate your presence in the House there. Um, so, we know you have a history with APC before joining Labour Party. On one hand, we've read how some individuals are calling for you to go back to APC. On the other hand, you are the pride of the obedience, and we would like you to mentor and bring up more senators. And which direction are you leaning? Do you think something about mentoring obedience is a priority for you, or can you share which direction you are leaning to? Thank you.
I must tell you honestly that mentoring is a priority for me. But I must say, more of my focus is more of mentoring young women. So if that's a failing, because truthfully, men have a lot of mentors, obedient or not. Women have no mentors, and women are more disadvantaged. When I think of all the things I didn't know when I was younger that I had to suffer through, that would have been easier if somebody guided me. The same thing politically. I would like to not just mentor young women to go into the political space. I'm working on how to empower them to get there. Once we resolve certain issues within the FCT and within the party. Now, I'm also going to use this platform to tell you that not just mentoring in terms of women, I'm I'm trying to get other women to work on it with me, on creating a lobby group for women. It's not enough for us women to say, give us. We need to become a strong lobby block, and I'm working on it. So I know that as a man, you probably think I should be mentoring everybody, and I do mentor people who ask for but my focus is women.
Thank you, Senator. Dr. Bankole, thank you so much for that question. Flag Boy, FCT Abuja, you have the mic.
Good evening to everybody on this space. Good evening, distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe, the Senator of FCT. I'm not here to ask you questions, but I'm here to encourage you and to react to what the FCT minister said about about you. We, the people of FCT, we are proud of you, 100% proud of you. We are behind you, and we guarantee you 2027, you get to there and you conquer it. Thank you. Are you?
Thank you, Flag Boy. And I'm also going to use this platform where everybody's there. And I know that though we see privately, but I want to use this platform to also thank you. You've been a big rock for us obedience in the FCT. And I want all obedience and all of FCT people to know that you are somebody that when you are in that person's corner, you follow that person everywhere. And I thank you for that.
Ma'am, on this note, Gloria, it's important to let you know that the flag boy, he wouldn't say it, but we have I've stayed with him. The other time when he was arrested, I had to make a lot of calls while I was still on transit with our principal to ensure that he was out. Just a couple of hours, just a day ago, some group of obedients went to protest, and the police are on his case because they went to do that almost assuming that they were doing it on his behalf. And just yesterday, he was chased into the market, harassed, his clothes were torn, and I think the market people had to help him to escape. So even as we speak right now, it's important to let the commissioner of police to bring his attention to it because I would say it here because I had to ensure that he didn't sleep in his house because he said to me that one of the police people knew where he was staying and they were coming after him. And this is a good place to bring a report like this so that he's not harassed and we're not coerced into, becoming afraid to even dare to even come out to, carry out our civic responsibilities in terms of protesting, you know. I think it's important. And if you have to comment on this, it will be good, Madam Senator.
Thank you for that background information, Dr. Mo. Senator, did you want to respond to that?
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I think I'm going to have to talk to the Commissioner of Police on that issue. I'm glad that Dr. Mo brought it up, and I'm now aware that that's what is happening to Flag Boy.
Thank you, Senator. And thank you, Dr. Moore, again, for giving us that information. We certainly don't want a case where democracy or the right to protest is being stifled. KC Emenike, you have the mic. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, distinguished senator. It is a privilege to do this. I'm based in many places, but in Abuja, you'll find me in Lube. And of course, we did rally around you in the 2023 election. Thank you very much for standing up for us. And thanks for the list that you shared. A couple of other people have shared it as well. In fact, it's part of what I wanted to ask, but I wanted to say something in 1 minute. I'll actually ask. The background of my question would be, I believe the job of a senator would, of course, sadly, in Nigeria, this may not be the case, will be to work on policies, or that's why they're called lawmakers, right? Work on policies that affect the future, right? Sadly, in the context, in the country we are in these days, a lot of what happens is that people focus on constituency projects, right? And then we do not do a lot about things like laws or policies. I see what you have done. It's great stuff. Now, this is the question that I have, right? With regards to policies, which of the policies do you feel that maybe you have now? I know that you do a lot with regards to women, helping women and mentoring women. Now that I even mentioned it, I'll say, please, Barrister Juliet is on the speaker session. She may not talk, but I'll say that if you're looking for someone to mentor, if she's not already in that list, please add her there. This is not me speaking on her behalf. We've not met before. That's what I say that. Now, with regards to policies, now, which policies do you feel that you've had the biggest pushback? I'm saying this because, of course, you need the Nigerians, us, to support you. I don't mind if we have to, just like you said, something about lobby groups, if we have to apply such pressure from the citizen side, so that we can also help you with some of these things that are thorns in your flesh. I don't know if that makes sense, right? So what are the policies that you feel are the most important, that you feel having the biggest obstacles to getting us a better Nigeria tomorrow? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.
Where do I start? For one thing, I think that as I said earlier, you need, for us to get a mayoral seat, the whole of FCT literally has to get up and fight for it, because FCT is the lollipop that's given to people whenever any president so chooses. Sorry. And I think it would take a really special president to let go of FCT. But unless FCT has a mayor, FCT can never progress properly. Now, that's one. Number two, the mayoral, the Electoral Act needs a lot of amendments and reforms. Will it get it? And also, since we're to talk honestly on the space, I also feel that, yes, leaders are there, but the people also need to get more involved in the policies they want, send bills, insist on certain things. My opinion is that when I was younger, I was not as complacent as the average young person. I understand that the environment is different, is tougher, is harder. So then the other thing I want for the Federal Capital Territory is that I want a situation, and whenever I've spoken about working with the minister does not necessarily benefit me personally, but it's in the interest of the larger people of the FCT. I'm going to see if it can be done other ways, but if it can't be done working with the minister, then I would have to find a bill or a bylaw that will allow for transmitting stations to be put all across rural Abuja. Once that happens, then Abuja can spread out. There's nothing that stops me from going to live in Kuje, because I'll have the very in Gudon Career if I like, because I will have data and and have access to telephones in terms of airtime. Now, until that happens, everybody is choked up in the city. Everything is more expensive in terms of rent and everything. So policies. The other thing, I also think it should be a law in the FCT that rent cannot be more than 1 year for more expensive ones, smaller ones quarterly. Nobody should have to pay 2 years rent. Why? Do you get 2 years salary? No, you don't. That's one of it. The other thing that I also feel that we need to look at, health insurance. FCT should have a vibrant health insurance policy. We have one, sort of, but we need to flesh it out. So there's so many things. I could be here all day telling you the things that I feel need to be put in place. I feel also that national forms should have state of origin taken away from them. It will breed unity within the country. Our children, I notice that my son, most of the time, doesn't know where his friends are from other than that Nigerian. Give them time. By the time they're 40, 45, they started knowing that this one is Yoruba, this one is Igbo, this one is this. So we need to find things that will also unite us. All these things we need the certain policies and legislation for. So yes, there are many of them, but we have to prioritize. And as I said, what gets done is what the majority wants. But in fairness, I must say that most of the senators, the 80%, well, I would say 80 new senators, so not quite 80%, but 80 new senators are new. And a good portion of those have the same mindset as me. They may not be as vocal as I am, but I think that they do feel like I do.
Thank you, Senator. Guys, don't forget the hashtag Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts, and this way we can take your questions and read your comments as well. So, Senator, you have spoken to things you're doing for the people and planning to do for the people. And, I know Wake Up, Thomas Young, Nwayi Aguileri asked questions along that line on the timeline. But we have a follow up to the question about salary. And this is from well meaning Nigerian. And he wrote, as a follow up to the salary question, you said there are other running costs that senators are allowed to access and they account for it and it varies. In your opinion, knowing the loopholes in the Nigerian system, even in civil service, is it possible to say, or is it possible for an indigenous senator to take advantage of this situation to loot money? For example, hiring themselves or their companies as consultants, issuing the receipt and paying themselves?
I'm sorry, I did not hear the question at all because all of it was broken up.
Okay, I'll repeat it. As a follow up to the salary question, you say there are running costs that senators are allowed to access and they account for it and it varies. In your opinion, and knowing the loopholes in the Nigerian system, even in civil service, will you say it's possible for an indigenous senator to take advantage of this to loot money? For example, hiring themselves or their companies as consultants, issuing the receipt and paying themselves? Did you get that?
Yes, I
Okay.
got it. Well, truthfully, I think the whole Nigerian system needs major reform. There's no sector where there isn't massive corruption. So anything is possible. You know, we talk about a lot of things that are wrong, but one of the primary things that I have discovered that the country needs to tackle seriously is corruption all across board and from the bottom to every level. You will find that I somebody told me I went to a hospital and I wondered why certain people were sitting and nobody responded. And because sometimes I go to places without identifying who I am. And somebody told me that, Madam, somebody has to pay the man who's going to take the file into the doctor. So the doctor will not know that that patient is there if there's no kickback. The country needs to sit down and brainstorm on how we can stop corruption. And it is something across board. It's become institutionalized. So though to say any that is possible, of course anything is possible.
Thank you, Senator. And he's asking a follow up question also to, we're still on the same subject. So, how do we deal with it? Your constituency funds, how much are they?
Constituency funds are not fixed. It's how much you can get appropriated for your constituency.
Thank you, Senator. I'll take another speaker now, and then we'll come back to the timeline to take some more questions. Nathy Dre, 100, you have the mic. Go ahead, please.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Senator. I have a question. I voted for you and I reside in Abuja. I can categorically tell you that the wiki of a man does more of underground routing than you are doing. Let's not lie to ourselves. I overheard a friend telling me that they saw wiki at Tudun Wada somewhere in Lugbe. And these are places that things are so bad that you need to even visit. Then aside that, I have this complaint that I laid. And when you were elected into office, the first place I could remember vividly, you visited Trade Mall in Lugbe and you made a lot of promises. And this year's flood has claimed a lot of lives. So, what have you done? What have you put in place in order to solve that flood that has been affecting trade for more than 7 years now as a senator? Thank you. That's my humble submission.
Well, you see, that's what I'm talking about. When I go to Lugbe and when I went, I talked to them. I interfaced. At that time, there was no minister. you have to understand that I'm primarily a legislator. And that's why I say I talk on the behalf of the people. At that time, I spoke to the PermSec. He made me all the promises. Of course, that PermSec has since been changed about it. So I come back to what I'm saying about how ministers and senators work. You think I don't go to all these places? I do. When there's a problem, unfortunately, the minister is not accessible to the people the way that I am. The night of the fire, nobody could reach the minister. It's not, maybe, I don't know what the issues are, but a lot of people, anybody who cares to see two of my phones, you will see the number of phone calls that come through them a day. But even if I tell you that, oh, they're going to clear the flood channels, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, who is going to do it? It's not going to be the senator. It has to be the minister. So you now have to see how the people suffer when there's no synergy between the minister and the senators, and not just the senators, the House of Rep members as well. The National Assembly is the key word. So anything I tell you that we can do, the normal, they give us 400 million basic constituency allowance. Then you lobby for the rest and build it up to however many billions you can get it to, depending on how much leverage you have. But the person who gets the budget to do this, do that, do this, do that, is the minister, and his prerogative to do it or not do it.
Thank you, Senator. So are you saying that having leverage is there some sort of politics with having leverage? That's just my own question in passing. When you say depending on how much leverage you have, is that like a
For instance, now, okay, after I get the basic one, maybe you can go to a particular place and say, oh, FCT people need this. The person will put it in the budget. Oh, FCT people need that. And you go all around asking for what FCT people need. And as many people as you can convince at departments, MDAs, that you can convince that FCT people need those things, then they will put it in the budget and FCT people will get it. But it would come as part of the constituency projects because it's not part of, you know what I mean? It came through you. So, but the things that are budgeted for, water, electricity, the bulk of it, all those things, they are in the federal capital territory budget, not from the senator. What the senator can do in constituency projects is a spit in the bucket. And I go to a lot of the budget of the FCT, 1.2 trillion. Now, how much of that is going for the bad roads, the water? I mean, okay, a little bit. Sometimes a grader for some places in the FCT will go a long way. So I know, because I've been into all those interior places. There are many places I go to. I'm sorry, I apologize for being a quiet senator. I believe that governance is not about noise making. When I travel by myself or one aide. I do not go with policemen. I do not make noise. I go to the airport. I check myself in. Only occasionally somebody will realize it's me. I buy my economy ticket. When I get there, somebody will say, madam, no, you can't sit here. Let me give you my seat. I do not think, I am 70 years old. Everything I want out of life, I got them before I became a senator. My youngest child has finished school. He studied a master. Everybody. So I'm at the age where, how much money then do you need to spend at my age? I did not go to the Senate for that. So many times when I get to the airport, the people then scold me, madam, why are you coming here by yourself? And I said, well, I'm sorry, but who else should be coming with me? You two, you are part of the problem. You expect me to come here with noise and fanfare. When they do, then you say they are doing so. But those that don't, you're scolding me for doing it. I'm sorry. I see governance completely differently from a lot of people. Yes, I go to many, many places. The day I went to Karu Market, I didn't go with anything but myself and a few people. I didn't go with any press. I didn't go with anything. If they were there, I would talk to them, but I certainly not going to go to the trouble of bringing them so that people will know that I went to Karo Market. The people I went to commiserate with, the people I went to talk to knew I came. The same thing, Lugbe. Yes, people knew I went to Lugbe. I didn't go with anybody. I went by myself. And I do that with a lot of places. I apologize to the people of FCT, since it seems you all require me to make a lot more noise and fanfare. But that's not the kind of governance that I envisage for Nigeria in the future.
Thank you, Senator. I want to circle back to our panelists. Barrister Juliet, you have the mic.
Before Barrister Julius comes up, I recounted one of the time I was talking with the senator when the whole hula baloo about the minister and all of that. And when I checked and realized that the minister had a budget for some of the works he's done to the tune of 1.2 trillion and a supplementary budget of 93 billion. I reached out to the senator because I was a bit confused, and I wanted to know what share of that fund got to her. And I realized that's why she really got pissed and had to go up on air and was speaking the way she was doing. Because we have a lot of people here who are thinking that the minister is doing something, painting Maitama and Asokoro. Those roads were already budgeted for. And I'm sorry, but I have to say it here because I realize that some of the places she's gone to is not Kubwa and it's not Life Camp. She's gone to places that some of us here, none of us here can go, to territories where there are bandits and all. She's building a hospital in Dobi, but somebody lives in Wusia and is saying, where is it?
Dr. Mo, I think the phone is breaking. Can you hear us? The connection.
I can hear you.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
it's clearer now. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I was saying that part of her job, because I was a bit taken aback when I saw her on the air, and she said, no, Dr. Mo, part of my job is to hold the executive accountable. And I realized that it's primary, to what she's called to do. And it behoves on us to also help reinforce some of the things that all the senators, I now had to learn a few things that she has to go lobby from one ministry to the other, from one NDA, because it is in the budget. Ministers have budget, and the job of the senators and the House of Reps is to ensure that they plug into those budgets and all of that. And but you have a sitting minister who is sitting on trillions of naira and only comes to mock us and dance on TV every day. I saw the latest one that was released today. And a lot of people are carried away. And for me, and for the obedience, I like the fact that we have passion and emotion, but it's time to get strategic. Using especially the senator of the FCT as an example, because it's almost absurd that trillions of Nigerian naira is going and nobody is even holding the minister accountable. And when the senator got up to speak, then the minister spit fire and brimstone and you things that cannot even be said in the market square. He gets on national TV to begin to say them, and I look through and I challenge every obedient here today because it's not about the money that comes to our pocket. If she's building a hospital in Dobi and going to the trenches and putting solar panels in places where people cannot go, I think that's why we're here. I remember, and I know that I told Saddam that we're going to have Senator Mwonye here. By the time I started accounting and going through the things she has done, honestly.
Oh, Dr. Mo, it looks like the connection. Okay, we lost you there. Just to reiterate, Dr. Mo is a guest co-host. We just want to make that very clear. So that's why he's speaking from that angle. But I'm going to quickly take. Oh, Barrister Juliet, did you still want to say something? Because I saw your hand up earlier.
Oh yes. I
Okay.
know he used that he wanted to speak on something. Okay. I'm a very practical person, and I know FCT has about 60 to 66 wards. Distinguished one,
62.
thank you. Please, distinguished man, can you tell us the reality? Because I know it's not easy, but can you tell us the practical reality of being a sole senator for a state like, or a territory like FCT? And another question, follow-up question is: are you a member of the committee of the FCT? Can you also tell Nigerians, reiterate to Nigerians, the clause in section 88 of the Nigerian Constitution? I think that's something we need to really rephrase, or we really need to familiarize ourselves with as a people. Your constitutional duties in line with section 88 of the Nigerian Constitution. Thank you.
Section. Um, to start off with, hello, the, can you hear
We can
me?
hear you.
Because the lines have been breaking up.
We can hear you.
Okay, I want to say yes. There are 62 wards in FCT, and the FCT is quite big. Now, recently, because and all this also answers to the person who says he doesn't see me in the usual places. Yes, it's easy for me to go to the city center. I went to Kau, Shere, and Igu. That's the end of Abuja, bordering on Kaduna. When I got there, the people, and to get there, I had to go with the army. Even I could see that they were a little bit from time. They kept stopping and stopping. So I asked them what the problem was. They told me that, they were checking out for ambush. Okay, after a while, I said, if it's too dangerous for you, we can go back. They said, no, madam, we have almost reached. Okay, when I got there, the people were like shocked. It's like, you came? I said, yes, you're part of my consent, but the last senator to come here was Senator Hira Gwadabe. Nobody has come here. I said, well, you're part of my people. And I went there, I looked at their needs. They had rural electrification that had been put in place 10 years ago. So the polls are there, everything. I have already written on the matter so that AEDC will see how to connect it. They had some boreholes that Hira Gwadabe put in that obviously are not working anymore. And I promised, I sent some of my people to go check it out. So yes, those are the people who really need my intervention. I believe that I will work out and work from out into in. Now, sorry, just excuse me a moment.
No problem. Okay. While we wait for the senator, we'll just give you a moment to make sure you're okay. But while we wait for the senator,
Yes.
oh, okay, go.
I'm
Okay,
back.
good.
Okay. Some of my constitutional duties is to investigate and oversight. And the truth is that people talk about my issues with the minister. I've never actually met the minister. The only time I have spoken to the minister in my life directly was across a committee table. And the video, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Minister mentioned that he would need 72 billion to finish building a cultural center that 40 billion had been already expended on. And all I said was, with due respect, Honorable Minister, considering our lack of liquidity as a nation, considering the insecurity, considering the state of our schools, healthcare, and lack of water, I think that perhaps a cultural center is not a priority right now. We can put it aside for when we have solved more pressing problems. Case closed, no more, no less. And I do not have any issues with speaking those things. I did not, I came to represent the people, and I know that a culture, the one we have in Area 10, how many people go there? How much do we use it? So those are part of my job as a senator. So when I'm told that I don't want to be your friend, I don't see how friendship comes into between myself and
Senator, I think we lost you. Okay. Well, the senator has been, well, I don't see her on the space. Okay. While we wait for the senator to come back, please, I love the opportunity for Parallel Facts to create a platform for our people in Abuja, and of course Nigeria as a whole, because everything that affects one part of Nigeria affects us all. In that regard, please ensure that you're retweeting this space. It's very important, especially if you're in the FCT. If you have not retweeted this space, I'm watching you. Please retweet this space. In fact, if you've retweeted the space, let me see an emoji in the on the space. Let me see you put up an emoji. I see some emojis. I am very thankful. Not everybody is putting up an emoji, and I'm watching you. Please go ahead and retweet the space. Again, you click on the arrow at the top of the space and share via post. That way, you can post it directly to your timeline. Are you following Parallel Facts on all social media platforms? Aha, I knew that was a big question. Are you following Parallel Facts on all social media platforms? Did you know we're even on TikTok? TikTok. We're actually on YouTube as well. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We are everywhere. Okay? So all you have to do, go to the bio. Go to the bio on Parallel Facts and you will see all the pages. Ensure you are following us everywhere. We appreciate you so much. Today's hashtag, of
And
course,
then,
is. Oh, go ahead. Dr. Mo, were you trying to say
yeah,
something?
glory. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I was cut off. I was going to say, and thanks to Parallel Facts for what they're doing, really creating and making a difference here. And I'd like to thank you guys.
Can you hear us, Senator?
Can you
Okay,
hear,
now I
Senator?
can hear you. Now I'm
Okay.
back. I can hear you.
So before
Okay.
you come in, Senator, I was saying that, yes, that Parallel Fact, thank you for what you doing and keeping to the objectivity. I wanted to say to the Senator that most people have accused, I'm here as a guest host, and I represent a particular constituency, and people have even told me that APC people and PDP have benefited more than with the obedience. And that's why, you saw me around him before the network went off. And I just needed to say that, because I know that this is a very objective platform. And of course, I understand that you are not just the senator of a particular political party, because oftentimes you even said it on air that, yeah, you just want to see governance. You just want to see performance. You just want to do your job as a senator. You are a mother to all. You've reiterated that over and over again, you know. And I'm saying that I was speaking for that particular group of people who think that you haven't done much for them. And I'm saying that it's not about money in our individual pocket, but that the transformation, the projects that you're bringing, the boreholes that you're doing, the hospitals that you're building. And I needed to chip in that so that my constituency can understand that, yes, we might have been those who have walked, who have rallied and campaigned and all of that. But right now, it's not as though you will not look onto your constituency, but you are sitting there as the only senator. If we even had 2 or 3 senators like other states, so you can't be biased. You must just ensure that you do your job as a senator. But again, because I represent this constituency, what they are saying, Madam Senator.
Dr. Mo? Okay. Okay, I think that was it. All right. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you were able to come back. Our guest co host, Dr. Mo, there. Thank you so much. Senator, did you want to respond to that before I go on?
Well, I didn't hear a lot of what he said, but I heard some. The truth is that, yes, I'm elected on the platform of the Labour Party. I'm an obedient. The obedient, they are my primary constituency. But after an election, I have now become the senator for all of the Federal Capital Territory, every party and people who are non-partisan. So whenever I've had things to distribute, I take a certain amount and give to the Obedience and the Labour Party, but I try to treat everybody in the FCT fairly because that is my idea of governance. Times when I would have given a gift, maybe I gave Christmas, I give 2 cows to Labour Party. I would give one cow each to the other people to say, distribute to your people, since obviously I'm not going to know them as well as you would. When I was distributing rice, apart from giving whatever I'm giving to the Obedience, I gave to the Obedience, I gave to APC, I gave to IPAC and ABGA and PDP. Then I went and distributed the rest ward by ward, regardless of parties. And I'm a mother. I try to be fair. And I'm also trying to do the things.
Senator? Hello, Senator?
Of course, the network is at it again, Gloria. I don't know if you
Okay.
can hear me. Yeah,
I
but the
can hear
network is
you.
off. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. You said as a mother?
Okay. As a mother, I try to be fair. And as somebody who's always thought, okay, given the opportunity, this is what I would do. I've always felt that governance should not be a winner take all issue. You can fight as much as you want before the but once you have reached there, you belong to everybody, and everybody's interest must be taken along. The people with persons with disability, every person, a governance of inclusion. Had Nigeria been doing that all along, we would not be in the sorry state we're in. And I try to live what I preach.
Thank you, Senator. Barrister Juliet?
Oh,
Barrister Juliet, go ahead.
yes. I asked some questions before Distinguished dropped, and so I would just like to reiterate it. And it was, what is the practical reality of being a sole senator in the FCT of 62 wards, and are you a member of the committee on FCT? And then,
Yes, I
okay.
am a member of the committee on FCT,
And
though.
during this committee, do you people carry out meetings? Do
Do
you
we do
people
what?
during the committee meetings? Does the role of investigation inquiry take place in that committee? Because this is also an avenue to actually scrutinize the budget, its appropriation, and any other scandalous allegations that have actually been going on in that ministry. What has been happening, and how has the committee been effective so far?
Well, to date, if I'm to be honest, I don't think the committee has been as effective as it should be. And truthfully, I have only been invited to 2 meetings. And if there were more, they didn't happen with me.
Okay, I think that is where the issues are, because that is also where the committee and the minister should have actually been meeting and then dialoguing on their.
Hello?
I don't know if I'm still audible.
Can you hear? We can hear you, Barrister. Senator, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me,
I think
Senator?
her network
We
is
have
off again. Can
another
you hear me?
20
Okay.
minutes.
Senator. Hello, Senator. Okay. Senator, let's know when you can hear us. Well, obviously, you can't hear what I'm saying now, but would while we wait for the Senator. Hello, Senator.
Okay, the senator is back.
Okay, welcome back. Go ahead. Barrister Juliet, you were wrapping up. You can.
Okay, thank you. So I was saying, I think that those are where the issues borders on, because that is actually a point in which Nigerians should be hearing or investigating the appropriations of the budget that was released to the minister, and to see how effective he has been so far. I think that's something we needed to know, and how far. But since you've already clarified that meetings have not been going on, and if there has been, you've not actually been in the know. And then I was saying, in the course of the conversation, it's very, very great for us as Nigerians for you to also reiterate your functions, which is Section 88 and nothing more. Any other thing you do is part of what you are doing out of your will, your goodwill, but it should also be always stated that Section 88 of the Nigerian Constitution is what you should actually be responsible to the people for all through your 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juliet. That's what I have tried to do. Every time I have spoken up, I have, if you watch my videos, I have nothing personal against the minister. I'm only there to fulfill my constitutional duties, and that's all I do.
Thank you, Senator. Taking a question now from the TL. Dear Distinguished, this is from Humphrey First. Humphrey First says, Dear Distinguished, in line with the talk about corruption in the public sector, would you be willing and happy to push for a law for capital punishment without fine for public sector financial corruption? Hashtag Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts.
Actually, the other day, I went somewhere with some of my colleagues and I was talking to them about the fact that I thought it would be good to bring a law asking for the death penalty for two sets of people. Corruption in the security agencies and corruption in the civil service, or rather the public service. And to hear their views. And I must say, a lot of them thought, good idea. When you finish working on the bill, bring it and we'll support you. The truth is that if we don't do something drastic, zero tolerance for corruption, corruption will kill Nigeria.
Thank you, Senator. And I know we have just about 20 minutes left on the space, so I'll try to take as many speakers as possible. Real Ever Best, you have the mic. Go ahead, please. Real Ever Best, can you hear me?
And please just give me a few minutes. I'll come back, please.
Your
I'm
hand was
just
up.
getting.
Okay. So we have to go down the
Yes,
list.
yes, I'm just getting back now.
Okay.
Just give me 5 minutes. I'll come back.
All right. So please, speakers, keep in mind we have 2 minutes. Please let's not go above 2 minutes. Ask one question, and again, please keep it respectful. Chris Crest, you have the mic.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll try and be quick as much as I can. Hello,
Thank you.
everyone, and hello, to the senator. Um, so it's not news that this government
If
keeps.
he's not available, can I just talk, please?
Somebody is speaking. Can you please mute your mic? I think that was Princess Honest Six. Chris had the mic. Just one
Okay,
moment, please. Go ahead,
all right.
Chris.
Thank you, Gloria. So to the senator, it's not news that this government keeps borrowing monies, like billions of dollars. From IMF, World Bank, and even from countries like China. And
We can't hear anyone.
Okay, we can. I
We
think
can hear you.
yeah. I think Princess Honest Six. Can you please mute your mic? We can all hear you, but somebody's speaking, so I think you're having difficulty hearing him. But somebody has the mic right now. Just one moment, please. Go ahead, Chris.
all right, thank you. So it would be disingenuous for anyone on this page to say that even without this money is borrowed, that it's been pushed into infrastructure or things like that. I mean, even with all these monies, we have IDP camps that are not closed. We have women and children in IDP camps exposed to diseases, exposed to all sorts of, things that are dehumanizing. And I'm not going to ask you directly, like, what do you senators do when these bills, I don't know what to call it, proposal to borrow monies, are passed through the floor. I just want to know what is the pulse like? Because it would seem these people are borrowing money that generations to come, you know, can't pay back, wouldn't be able to pay back. And it is also seem as though things just pass through the floor without anyone caring. For instance, we have the issue of the GMO. I mean, it's not news to anyone what those seeds can do to the climate, to the soil, to your health, and to the water table. So I just want to know what is the pulse like when these proposals or bills to borrow money and things like GMO when they fly through the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Senator.
Well, truthfully, the most senators, I must say, do not agree to the borrowing or do not want the borrowing. And the GMO seeds, truth, we've talked about it only on a superficial level. It hasn't really come to us as a bill. We haven't tabled it as a bill or even a motion. Somebody may have brought it up once, but obviously asking for it to be condemned. We are aware that the borrowing is not going to help. A lot of the new borrowings that are in the pipeline have not actually come to us yet. I only remember
Senator, I only remember was the last thing we heard.
money that had been borrowed before being brought to us. It was borrowed by the other government. And so when we started to complain and shout about it, and everybody just told us that oh, we were just being informed, it had already been borrowed by the previous government before we came. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Can you hear us? Okay. Now the connection is hello, ma. Now the connection is
Hello?
aha. We can hear
Hello?
you now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, can you hear me
Yes, we
now?
can. Go ahead, Senator.
Hello?
Hello, Senator, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear
I
me?
can perfectly.
Okay, so we are mindful of the fact that this borrowing, we're just digging ourselves into a hole. I personally believe that Nigeria needs a Marshall Plan for getting us out of the situation that we're in at all levels. When it comes to power, industry, we need a Marshall Plan. Now, whether as I keep saying, I'm a legislator. The Marshall Plan is something that the executive has to buy into, and then we can see we can then produce legislation to implement it.
Thank you so much, Senator. Now I'm going to take a quick question from the CL. Please, guys, don't forget to retweet the space as we're bringing it to a close. It's not too late to retweet the space. The hashtag is Senator. No, I keep saying that. The hashtag is Ireti Kingibe. The hashtag is Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts. I want to take a quick question from Pope Isaac. Or it's more like a recommendation. He wrote hashtag Ireti Kingibe on Parallel Facts. Tell your other House of Rep members to come and speak to the Labour Party supporters.
What?
He's telling you to tell.
Hello?
He's telling you to tell the other House of Rep members to come and speak to Labour Party supporters.
Okay, I will.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to take speakers now. Michael Powers, you have the mic, and Samuel Ajayi, please be on standby. Go ahead, Michael Powers.
Yeah, good evening, Gloria. Thank you. It's good to be with you. My senator, I'm a resident in the FCT. I just want to draw attention to the criminality that is very prevalent in our city that we once loved. Though we still love it, but we want things to be better. What legislation are you currently pushing to draw the attention of the of various authorities, liaising with your colleagues across the aisle, to make sure that things like outright theft of public properties, like these irons they use to cover the roads where we drive around, they don't steal and finish, my senator. And again, just yesterday, the VIO in Abuja actually, arrested my driver, and they wanted him to pay some money that doesn't exist, that they said is for whatever administration. So I actually baited them by paying that money, but tomorrow, by Monday, I think I'm going to be arresting the head of the VIO. So, what are you doing? I want to know. What you're doing in terms of improving legislation for better policing and security in the capital. Thank you.
Um, I was hello,
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, ma'am. Yes,
hello.
you have the mic.
Yeah, okay, if you can hear me, we have enough laws for good policing. Our biggest problem is implementation of those laws. The other day, I also had cause to write. I think it was federal road safety because I was coming home. I saw the car in front of me was stopped. I didn't see him do anything wrong, so I'd gone past him. Then I reversed. I turned around and went back there and called the federal road safety people to say, what crime did he commit? Madam, it's his tires. I said, but I can see them. There's nothing wrong with them. And then I now started making a to-do about it. And they now told me that, yes, they do understand that the man did not commit anything, but that they are told that they must charge a certain number of people a day in the Federal Capital Territory. And I said, no, I do not accept that. Go back to your boss and tell him I drove you off the streets and I'm writing to him, this must stop. You cannot be harassing people when they didn't commit any crime. And just as I was fighting them over one man, another man, and another man, of course, because I was making such a ruckus.
Because you were making such a ruckus, I think you were trying to say. We lost you, Senator.
Was making a ruckus on the streets. So they now released everybody, and I told them to go back to the head of the Federal Road Safety and tell him that I said they should get off the road, and I'm following it up with a letter saying this is wrong, you cannot do that. You cannot force them to charge a specific number. They must bring in a specific number of charges per day, whether people commit crimes or not. That's wrong. And so we do have laws, implementation, and the respective agencies that are meant to implement them. That's where the problem lies. And in terms of the young people taking things off the streets, yes, we can be implemented properly, but I also have to look at the flip side. They're hungry. So when people are hungry, they're going to do all sorts of unsavory things. These things have been there all these years. How come it's only now that people are taking them off the road? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? We need to look at not just the symptoms, but the cause of the disease.
Thank you, Senator. Samuel, are you ready?
Yes. Thank you, Gloria. Senator Good, it's afternoon here from Florida. My question stems from the conduct in the House, and it's the way bills are passed, yay and nay, and then people just say the yay, nays, or whatever have it. My question is this: can we have a proper way of assenting to bills, like having each senator vote? I mean, we see it in other countries. We can say, oh, this senator voted for this particular bill, this senator voted against this bill. Is this what you and your colleagues are willing to do to make the conduct in the House a bit more proper? And concerning the cost of governance, what are senators doing? Are we expecting to see something, a bill or something to help to reduce the cost of governance? Something, because everybody talks about it, but no one is actually making a step to actually bring these things down. Is it what you guys generally are open to, so that we can see the cost of governance come down, starting from the Senate to the executive, what the Senate can, because you guys uphold the law, and this is what I believe you guys can do. So those are my two questions. Thank you.
You were supposed to ask one question, Samuel, but I'll let you have it. Go ahead, Senator.
Okay. I agree with you. I think that bills should be sent to senators 48 hours before the bill is to be discussed. So all senators should have already studied the bill properly, so they have a position before they come. They should also maybe even sound out their constituents on some of the issues before they get to the floor, so they know what their people feel about those particular things. That's one. Secondly, yes, I think we should vote yes and no individual senators to be counted up on how you voted. But unfortunately, the Senate I came to find does not vote that way. And I know lots of senators have brought the subject up. Maybe the process might change in future. A part of it also, the Senate is being renovated, so some of those voting devices are not in place yet. So perhaps when they're in place, the voting method might change. Now, your second question about the cost of governance. Governance is too high and at all levels. We have too many agencies, we have too many ministries, we have 5 people doing the work of 10 people. We have 10 people doing the job of one person. So we need to look at these things holistically. If the government has to find the money to pay off in terms of giving their gratuities benefits as well as a bonus to civil servants who offer to leave, maybe something can be worked up. I know somebody like MTN did that one time when they needed to down.
Please, just one question. Keep it under 1 minute if you can. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, distinguished. Good evening, everyone that has connected to this space. Point of correction, Senator. Nigeria corruption will not kill Nigeria, but has killed Nigeria already. So I'm not here to ask questions, just to encourage you because we know what we know now. Government is not all about noise making. Government is not all about paying television station for propaganda any longer. But I just want to encourage you that 2027 will not be like 2023. Just be focused and be doing what you are doing. And we are certainly behind you. And God bless you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Fine Aboki. All right. Our Wale, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Um, Distinguished, I just quickly want to mention that there is no better place that you will call the streets like Twitter. You may think that this is a very small thing, but sincerely speaking, you are reaching out to lots of people more than you may know. So I want to suggest to you that you do this more often and ensure that you work on your visibility. Visibility is very key. And that's actually what tells everybody what you do. The second part I want to mention is about the volume of intellectual resource that you have access to, particularly when you need critical, proposals, debates, etc., from the best of the best at no cost. You are in a place where you can get lots of support from emotional support that people are ready to do a lot to support you, and those people are usually probably maybe the best of the best. So please, I want to suggest that you try as much as possible to explore this. I saw all the
Let's wrap
projects.
up,
Yeah,
please, sir. Go on. Let's wrap up,
yeah,
please. Sorry
yeah.
to rush you. Thank
Last,
you.
la- Lastly, I just quickly want to mention that when I saw the list of the projects that were done, that was very good. But one of the things that will distinguish us in terms of accountability is when you have the exact amount that were spent on those projects being put in front of them. That is when everybody will be able to say, this woman only got 400 million naira. Look at what she has done,
Okay.
because that does not that nobody's going to ever forget that. Look at the volume of things she has done with 400 million.
Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Wale. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Wale. Thank you, Aboki. I will take your advice on board. Thank you, and I will do so. And I'll come on Twitter Space more regularly. Thank you. And I also, next time I publish these things, I'll add the the cost of the projects.
Thank you, Senator. Real Ever Best, you have 30 seconds. Go ahead, please.
No, thank you so much, Honorable Senator. I want to commend you for coming, to talk to us this evening, and I also hope that you'll be coming more often to talk to us because it's looking as though all the people that we voted, into either House of Rep or Senate, that they become invincible. Like we can hardly recognize them. Like there is no difference between them and the whether PDP or APC in the Senate. I wish they would start speaking more. I wish they would start connecting to the people who actually made it possible for them to be in that place. I think the obedient group is the only group that actually tried to build people or take people into political offices without even asking them for anything. All we want is good governance and actually recognizing that some of you rode on at least a lot of Nigerians, especially the youth. But because you don't have time, what I want to talk, I know you're a sincere person. I was among those people that campaign and work with you on the streets of Abuja for your campaign and so many other people. But what I want to talk about is a day election. I don't know how it is that there is completely disconnection between our other people who are seeking political office under Labour Party. For example, a day election is coming. The young man is doing his best, he's doing everything to win, and it's a plus for Labour Party and for Labour Party. But there's a disconnect. Both the senators, both the House of Rep, both the party structure. Nobody's coming together to say how do we help to make sure we win this election? A election is not just for the people of Edo, it's another step to what is going to happen in 2027. So, Honorable Senator, now that you're here, please, are you making the commitment that you're going to talk to other Senate, other House of Rep, other House Rep members for people to put resources together, put support together, go and campaign in Wutolumi that make sure that we put everything together to make sure that Labour Party win a Edo State election. And as for
Please wrap
Wike,
up.
please come and speak more. Nigerians are with you and we are going to support you. Thank you so much.
Senator, did you want to respond to that? Okay. Thank you, Real Ever Best.
Sorry, a
Yes.
lot of us are aware that there's elections in Edo. We have been on the ground since the beginning of delegates, primaries, and everything, and we are going to continue. Some people went for the launching, and we're all going to continue campaigning to ensure that we win the elections in Edo.
Thank you, Senator. All right. Final thoughts, Barrister Juliet?
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Kudos to Parallel Facts. It actually tells us that there is power in collaboration. My final parting words are to the people of FCT. We've heard the challenges, we've asked for solutions, and we've seen everything surrounding the distinguished senator of the FCT. Remember, she's a sole senator, and it's our duty, legislative duty, to make laws, not to do executive functions, which is the purview of Minister Nyesom Wike. And it's all for us as a people to shed more light on these issues and actually stand as a people to support legislative functions, because what we are seeing clearly from the challenges she has highlighted is a total abuse of office. The legislatives are the watchdog of the judiciary and the executive, and that must stand. And as a people who respect democracy and we believe in democracy, we must join together to put a stop to this, unite as one, and push for the true rule of law to take its course. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barrister. Dr. Mo, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up with the Senator?
Anything anymore?
Dr. Mo? Okay. Um, okay.
Um,
Do you have any final
Hello.
thoughts? I know you're a guest co-host,
all I
but
can
do you have
say,
any final thoughts? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I definitely would say that with all the observations and input from all the people across board, that I would help to ensure that the senator get more visibility in all the social media spaces and also be back on maybe once in a month on parallel facts so that we can also do an update of some of the things that we've talked about and also get other people to also do the same thing and collectively, um, just like she has said, to hold other people accountable as they also hold the executive accountable to ensure that we keep building one nation and keep sharpening edges because I know that just like we have first-time senators and reps go in, it will be good with these kinds of exchange of knowledge and information. It will help so that when people here get into office, it will not be new anymore. They will understand the workings of how to navigate their path when they get there, so they will make the mistakes that these current people have made. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mo. Senator Ireti Kingibe, do you have any final words as we wrap up?
Hello, can you hear
Yes, we
me?
can. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you all for thank you all for coming to the space and for having me on it. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're most welcome, and we thank you for giving us or honoring us with your invitation, or rather, honoring our invitation with your presence. I do want to apologize to anybody whose question we could not take. Of course, we can't take every single person's question. However, I can assure you that the senator is still reading. So use the hashtag Ireti Kingibe on parallel facts. Hashtag Ireti Kingibe on parallel facts. Whatever question or contribution you have, go ahead and put it in there. I assure you, the senator, Dr. Mo, they'll be on the lookout reading those comments and just taking notes. We appreciate you for tuning in. But as we wrap up, again, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. The link is right there in the bio. Have you visited our website? It is parallelfactsnews.com. Parallelfactsnews.com. You get the information, everything. Yes, we give it to you in bits on the timeline, but you get everything, all the details in there. And also, as we close, I want to say that Parallel Facts has the highest number of viewers among digital news outlets in Nigeria, and it ranks in the top 5 domestically. So outside of Nigeria, we have the highest number of viewers among digital news outlets. In Nigeria, we're top 5. So if you want to market, advertise, sponsor, you see the way I'm hyping, we will sell your business, we will sell your market. Just send us an email, info@parallelfactsnews.com. That's info@parallelfactsnews.com. Thank you all so much again. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Dr. Mo. Thank you, Barrister. We appreciate you all and have a great night.
Thank you.